Hello and welcome to the Bluestone Villa. It's autumn time here in England, and as a result I am going to be putting together today a bit of an autumn foraged tablescape. To make a few tweaks around the home and really create something a little bit special and a little bit different based on the season. As an example, I have my gorgeous green hydrangea Annabelles here that I cut from the front, and what I do with these is I dry them out and then I'll use them throughout this season and actually into winter as well. They can be used in wreaths, in garlands across fireplaces, etc. So I really make sure that I get my use out of things that even I forage from outside. And as a result, I really wanted to do a bit of a foraged tablescape, whether that's foraging for bits and pieces in my cupboard back here, which is full of lots of goodies that I've collected over time, or whether it's foraging from outside in the garden. I wanted to share that you can create a really dramatic and beautiful tablescape without actually having to spend a great deal of time or money on putting it together. Now, today's tablescape is just going to be for two people because it is just me and James, and again it kind of shows that you can do this even if it is just for yourself or just you and a partner. I think it's just something that really gives me a bit of a lift and kind of romanticizes my life and my home life. I think that's really what I try to do on a day-to-day basis here at the Bluestone Villa. I like to start in the center of the table and kind of work my way out when I'm tablescaping, and one of the first things I'm going to put in my foraged autumn tablescape is actually some conkers that I've just collected from out in the garden. I've just given them a bit of a clean and a dry. One thing I would say with this is that I'd hope to get more. It must be slightly past the key moment for these because a lot of the conker shells were empty, so I think the squirrels have already got them. So what I'm planning to do is to very much replicate what you do with daffodil and tulip bulbs, which is you're meant to just kind of drop them and see where they land because it looks more natural. And I'm going to try the same without also making them roll off the table. I also went out into my garden and cut probably one of the last rounds of flowers out of there. So I have really got into gardening over the last 2 years, and I dabbled this year with dahlias. So I've got a number of different styles, and I've also got some cosmos. Now this is really proof that you don't have to have everything as orange and black. So I really actually love some of the vibrant colours that you can use even at this time of year. That doesn't have to be the traditional colours that you think it should be. So I really love that this might be the slant we take with this. And I've got some candles that I did buy today. They're actually candles I've been looking for ages, so it wasn't solely for this tablescape, but I think they'll complement these really, really beautifully. And I think it really again goes to show that sometimes it's nice to be really colourful, and autumn can be more than just oranges and reds and blacks. I really push the limits on what can be considered posy vases, and I have some that are genuine posy vases, and I also have some that I've collected over time from kind of empty candle holders. So I've got a diptyque candle holder here, to vintage marmalade jars, to even taking some little bits and pieces from a little tea set and being able to use those as well. I'm going to bring the last of my hydrangea Annabelles into the mix as well, just in case I might need them. So I have no intention or plan for these. It's just a case of just playing around and seeing what works. Oh, and knowing when you cut something.
Just what it was needed, clean in the blackest night, cloistered in injustice dead.
the items that I bought, which, as I said, was just, I bought generally, but I plan to use for this, and I think it will work perfectly, are these neon pink candles. So really a non-traditional autumn situation. I, very irritatingly, have 2 of these, and I can only find one. I have no idea how I kind of lost an entire decent sized candlestick, but or candle holder, but it doesn't surprise me by any stretch of the imagination that I've somehow lost that somewhere. And so I've just got these in Phoenix, which they can fit, and I love them. I have been following, I think in a previous video I said, Sean Pritchard, who has a book out this year called Outside In, and he does the most magnificent floral displays. And one of the things that I really love about it is he also uses a lot of neon candles, and it's amazing how something so modern looking has such an enigmatic traditional vibe about it. I think I might struggle to get this one in there. I might need to use a bigger Bollinger bottle. I'm not sure the Bollinger bottles are the one for these, but yeah, he has a really traditional looking home, and then he has all this kind of quirky like books piled up with loads of different flowers on it, and they're just amazing, and I'm just so inspired by it. So I thought I would give it a whirl myself. I don't think this is going to work. So I just got these in Phoenix, and for the pair they were £7. I'm sure you could probably find some cheaper elsewhere, but I didn't think that was actually too crazy. That is not going to work. I seriously need to find a different candlestick holder. Mismatched is fine. I just would have liked 2 green mismatched. And then I think I'm going to And then one of the last things I'm going to put into the centre are these green pumpkin candles. I don't actually ever light these, and I bring these out every year. I put them under cloches, I put them above fireplaces, and I just love being able to dot them around. I love being able to dot them around and kind of just see how they unfold. I mentioned that I bring these H&M Home placemats out pretty much in every tablescape. They're a sage green, and they just work so well for every season, and they just go so nicely with every tablescape I think I've ever created here. I tend to always use my gold cutlery from H&M Home, and I think this is a perfect example of how you can use some of the same things over and over again and actually always make it look a little bit different. I actually have some very specific autumn napkins, which are these. They've got kind of an orange trim to them, but I actually don't think that these will look right with what I'm planning to do. So I'm going to opt for my usual grey linen. I got these from Marks and Spencer's a number of years ago, and I continue to use them for so many different tablescapes. Then, much like many of my tablescapes and many times that I've shared something before, I don't like to opt for the traditional napkin rings or napkin holders. Instead, I tend to opt in buying different sets of ribbon depending on the tablescape, the time of year, how many guests we've got, etc. And for this, I thought black would work really nicely. So there is a little bit of a hint and a kind of nod to Halloween. And I just bought 2 bits of black velvet ribbon. I tried to get some that was slightly thicker, but they didn't have enough of it. And this was just, I think, about £1.99 for these 2 strips from a local sewing shop here in Tunbridge Wells. And then one thing that usually always comes out, my autumn tablescapes, and my ceramic white like table place maker things from pumpkins. Did I say pumpkins? I can't remember. From the White Company, and I bring them out every year. But for this tablescape, I was thinking of doing something a little bit different because it's a little bit more dramatic, and so instead I am using these, which I actually used at Christmas last year. So these are actually Christmas decorations. They're sparkly acorns. I got them from John Lewis. One decoration had 3 of these attached to it, and what I did was cut the ribbon and then attach instead little card name, little card kind of like name place things, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put these here as part of this tablescape instead. Finishing off with my anthropology glasses because I think they'll look really fun with this setup, and of course, last but not least, lighting the candles. And this is my Foraged autumn tablescape.
A significant light, just where it was needed. Cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing. Faces merge and change, but your face remains the same.